So the MCU loses Spider-Man. Your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man is the sole property of Sony. Now, Sony always had the rights to the movies and everything like that, and they had a joint partnership with the MCU. But the MCU, as far as I know, Marvel, I should say, has the distribution rights of any kind of merchandise with Spider-Man. But I'm going to tell you this. Spider-Man not being a part of the MCU for the foreseeable future is a good thing for Spider-Man. It's a very good thing. And it still could be a part of the future phase of the MCU. You know, contract negotiations, they broke down, and you never know. They can always come back to the table. But if I'm Sony, I don't want Spider-Man anywhere near the MCU when it comes to Phase 4. Because we all know that Phase 4 is Phase woke. Spider-Man does not need to get woke. Look at what Kevin Feige has allowed to be done to Thor. Thor is not Thor anymore. They went full Luke Skywalker, Last Jedi, in Avengers Endgame with Thor. He's ruined. Spider-Man doesn't need to go down that route. Now, according to people that actually saw Spider-Man Far From Home, they were setting Spider-Man up to be the next Iron Man, to be the future of the MCU. But however, doesn't look like that's going to happen. Doesn't look like that's going to happen now. Maybe Sony just wants to go out and make their own Spider-Man movies. You have to remember that Sony made the two best Spider-Man movies ever. Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 1 and Spider-Man 2. So they've shown in the past that they can create great Spider-Man movies without being attached to the MCU. But however, they did make the Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2. Not the best. I'm going to leave it at that. Not terrible, but not the best. Not the best whatsoever. So I think with Venom now, there's a possibility that we can see Venom now in a Spider-Man movie. Now, they're supposed to still be making the next two Spider-Man movies with Tom Holland, by the way. So he'll be in whatever movies they come out with, at least the next two. But since Venom was a huge success at the box office, it made over $800 million worldwide. The critics hated it, but the fans loved it. I thought Venom was a very good movie. So it's a great possibility that you can actually see Spider-Man and Venom go at it in a future Spider-Man movie or a future Venom movie. I think I would like to see that. Tom Hardy, Tom Holland together, count me in on that. But I think Sony sees that, or at least they think, they don't need the MCU anymore. They don't. And to save Spider-Man from SJW wokeness, I think this is a good thing that Spider-Man is not in the hands of the MCU going forward. Kevin Feige, a man I used to have a lot of confidence in. He has turned into one of the biggest SJWs in Hollywood. He was way up here with the MCU, putting out hit after hit after hit. And then something happened to him. He had an awakening and he got woke. And when he destroyed Thor in Avengers Endgame, he allowed that to happen. I was like, oh no. This is unbelievable. And I like Endgame. I really, really did. But I hated Thor. Thor was the weakest part of that movie. And now he's going with Thor Love and Thunder. Just imagine what Kevin Feige would have done with Spider-Man going forward. You know, Kevin Feige panders to SJWs. So there's this whole thing right now with this old video of Stan Lee. And somebody asked Stan Lee if Peter Parker was bisexual or something like that. And Stan Lee said, no, if they did change it, he's going to have some words about it. Now, Kevin Feige, he would actually pander to those SJWs, and he may actually end up changing Peter Parker into someone we don't recognize. Now, with Sony being the head of everything Spider-Man, I don't think that's going to happen. But I'm not saying that Sony would actually make great Spider-Man movies, because we really don't know. We really don't know. It's going to depend. They're going to need a great script, a great story to really kind of recapture the magic of Spider-Man. Now, to me, the only great Spider-Man movies were Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 1 and Spider-Man 2. Spider-Man Homecoming, it was okay. It's okay. I like Tom Holland as Spider-Man, but Spider-Man Homecoming, under Kevin Feige, by the way, it was okay. That's it. Nothing special. So Spider-Man is now back in the hands of people that created the two best Spider-Man movies ever, and actually two of the greatest comic book movies of all time. So we'll kind of see. So this news today about Spider-Man, I think that at least the legacy of Spider-Man has been saved temporarily. Now, if they get into another negotiation with Disney about, distributing Spider-Man, it could change. It could change. But Spider-Man deserves to be nowhere near Phase 4 of the MCU. Phase 4 of the MCU has nothing that interests me whatsoever. Blade is in Phase 5. I love Blade. I'm almost afraid to see what Kevin Feige will do with Blade. That's how much Kevin Feige has fallen in my eyes. So what do you guys think of this? Are you on board with Spider-Man being in the hands of Sony only and the MCU has nothing to do with it? I think it's a good thing for now. And I also think that the MCU could really suffer for not having Spider-Man, because Iron Man is dead, Captain America is old, Chris Evans anyway, his Captain America, old. They have no one. Captain Marvel, she can't lead the show. She can't. So guys, let me know what you think about all this in the comments. If you're new here to the channel, please hit subscribe to catch future videos from me, and we will catch you on the next video. John Matrixx, out.